That's our problem. We always want to bring God down to our level so we can understand better. And God said, don't even try because you can't understand. Just do what I ask you to do. You know what? And the only thing I want you to do is believe my son. That's it. If you can just do that, we good. We can't even do that right.
A simple message. Just believe my son.
We can't do that right.
Yeah, just a simple message.
Believe in him. Do you hear him? Yes. Okay, believe him. And have faith. You saved. What else I got to do? Nothing. You good. I ain't got to do nothing. That goes back to the beginning. It's free.
Well,
it's free.
So
they pay me free.
So that's what I was. When I was talking to my barber, I think I was telling him. I say a lot of times, what happened with people in church, they think because they're going to church and you're not going to church, is that they're earning extra credit in God's eyes. But the unfortunate part, what they don't realize is that God knows everything. You can go to church 10 days. I say, look, I use 10 days a week. You can go to church all day long. But if it ain't here, if it's not in here, man, if it's not in your heart, you know better than you. Matter of fact, you're worse off than the guy who's not even going. Look, you're worse off than the guy who put $7 in his dude's wallet.
What do I always say?
Or the girl, or the lady.
I always say, and people may hear this and dispute this if this makes the cut. But here's the funny thing. People go to church and feel like what you just said. I'm getting more points with God. No, you're not. Like you said, no, you're not. What is church for? Well, church is for me to learn. Not really. Church is for you to fellowship. Church is where you go with like-minded people. Everybody's going to do the same thing. We're all going to worship and hear about God. So we do it together. It's corporate. Let's go have corporate prayer. Let's have corporate worship. Let's have a corporate message. And let's fellowship. That's what we do. That's why you're in church. If you're in church for a different reason, you're not in church to get saved. You're in church people that go to church, yes, you come to church and you say, well, I want to hear about God. Okay, with everybody else. I want to make some friends with everybody else. But the preacher ain't no different from you. See, we always want to think that pastor, you know what? So what? I'm pastor. What does that mean? You and I sitting out here talking. We the same.
We're the same. In God's eyes.
You know what? That's just like saying, well, a surgeon. A surgeon in our world is a person who went to school to get that education to be a surgeon. Does that make him better or worse than you? No. He has a different occupation. Well, he make more money, so he lives a different lifestyle. But is he better than you or me? He's not. He has a different profession. Is the pastor smarter than you? Is he closer to God? He's not. See, that when you look at the Old Testament, that's what happened back then, where everybody was making the sacrifices, going to the priest yearly to make these sacrifices to atone for their sins. Because the priest would go into the Holy of Holies, they tie that rope around him because if he wasn't clean, guess what? He wasn't coming out. So they would have to pull him out. But the idea is people still do that. I'm going to go talk to my pastor. Your pastor don't have a beeline to God no more than you do.
That always confused me sometimes. Look, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, to me, I think it's good. I'm fortunate enough I got you right here with me and I could talk to you. And it's good to talk to a pastor. But really be honest with you, if you are a Christian, guess what? You don't have to go to the broker. You can go straight to the lender. You don't have to, go straight up.
It's good to talk, and I don't misunderstand. It's good to talk to the pastor, teacher, minister, leader, for the knowledge. Just like when you go to the doctor, you don't know what's wrong with you. You just know what the aches and pains are. He went to school to tell you the different parts of your body and what's causing that. That's what I'm saying. But is he better than you? No. He's different because he can tell you all about that. He can tell you all about your body, but can he tell you about finances? Maybe, maybe not. He didn't go to school for that. Pastors go to school to study God. But am I closer to God? No, I'm not. I'm not closer to God than you are.
Exactly.
Now, did I study more? Probably so. That's what I went to school for. Did you go to school for that? No. But did I go to school for finances? No. So I have a financial advisor. Why? Because I didn't go to school for that. You did. You went to school for financial. I didn't go to school for that. Now, Spiritual, you want to know, I'll have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But my money, I'm going to give it to you because you went to school for that. I didn't.
Exactly.
I'm not going to try to heal my body. Well, God can heal you. He can.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? He also gave me doctors.
He gave them. He gave
Right?
them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And we have a whole school where they go and they study.
Exactly.
And they learn about it. Why? Because God gave them that. So guess what? I'm going to go see the doctor. Will God heal me? Yes. Will the doctor fix me? Yeah, because I can't tell God how to heal me. If he wants to use the doctor to heal me, that's what he'll do. So guess what? I'm going to go talk to the doctor. So we get this confused about the pastors and preachers and leaders, and we think, well, we got to go to them. You go to them for the same reason you go to a surgeon. I don't know the answer to this. I know I'm hurting. I have a question. Okay, and you're going to this person for the knowledge that they have, not because they're closer to God.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. It's okay to go to somebody for knowledge, but not because you feel like I'm going to talk to my pastor because he's closer to God. Then you?
Yeah.
God says, no, we're all the same.
All the same.
I saved you guys all the same. And he tells you that throughout the Bible. And he tells you, I did this. You didn't do anything because I don't want you boasting about I'm better. That's why he said it.
Well, that's what happens, Kevin, though. That's what happens. It's the people that put the pastors on these on these pedestals.
Right.
That's the people that do that.
Exactly.
My uncle was a pastor down there in Louisiana, and don't get me wrong, he does a really good job in the community, and he's an actual. I want to say he's a disciple. I mean, he's actually going out there, and he helps people. Man,
serving. He's
Uncle
serving.
Uncle Fred.
He's
you know
serving.
it, man. That's my uncle. He's on look. And he's on Uncle Fred. I think he's only 2 years older than me.
Uncle Fred, we're gonna make sure that this part get on.
Exactly.
Because Uncle Fred, you out there serving. You are serving for God, and we appreciate you, Uncle Fred. We're gonna get this to you.
Exactly. That's my uncle, man. He does a good job in the community, man. He's involved with the community. And what's interesting is that, man, he does everything. He cooks for him. He preaches for him. He does. And then he has good hands, so he does carpentry work. He's a carpenter. He does all kinds of stuff. But what's interesting to me is that, boy, they rely on him a lot. He's serving. He's doing what he's doing. He's doing what he's supposed to do. But what we were saying is, though, sometimes these people think Uncle Fred could do everything. Looks like he walk on water. It looks like he's Jesus or something like that.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. And I get the fact that they're extremely happy that they have someone that can call on. But Uncle Fred can only do so much.
Oh, such a secret. Well, call a pastor. He'll pray for him.
Yeah.
Why don't you pray?
Yeah.
What? It's in your family. Get your family together and pray. Notify your pastor, and he'll pray with you. And that's what whenever somebody calls, you always hear me say, "I'm praying with you." I'm not praying.
Yeah.
Can you pray for me? No, I'm gonna pray with you. We're gonna pray together.
It's almost like, hey, man, you got that secret line.
Exactly. I ain't got no secret.
You got that secret line.
Look, me and God ain't got no bad line. Let me call God on the red phone.
Oh yeah.
God don't have a red phone where you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold up, that's Kevin calling.
And here's the thing. There's the confusion around, and there's the disconnect when we talk about the conversation we're talking about right now is how the churches have done and some churches have done a bad job of connecting to people and teaching people, and there's so many disconnects that are out there. So what's happening is that you talk about the wilderness. There's a lot of people out there just walking out there. And the sad part about it, Kevin, they're walking around in circles and the church is right there.
Why? Because you don't understand how to study it. You don't understand culture. You don't understand who wrote it. What are they writing about? Why are they writing this? The Bible is not written to us. It's written for us. It's not written to us. And we have to remember that too.
I love that.
They didn't write it to us. So people, you can't read it like, well, that's for me. It's not for you.
It's for you. It's for you.
It wasn't written to you.
To help you.
And see that?
Help you.
And we don't understand that.
Help your walk. Help your journey. And here's the thing, Kevin. Are you listening? Talking to my barber and just hearing him.
Man, that was a good one, man.
Good one. It was like He was just straight up, because he knows who I am. He's followed me on Instagram, and he's seen me the way I move or what have you, and so he knows. But I was really happy about that he felt comfortable enough to say, "Hey, man, this is the deal." He said, "Elgin, I believe, but these churches," and he said, this is what he said. He said, I won't ever get in a church." He said, my church is at home. I treat people the right way, and I do all that. And so I look, at the end of the day, sometimes you let them talk, and you support what you listen, and I just listen. And so what I like is the fact that he's opened up the door for me, and I'm not going to be beating him up, say, "Hey, man, you need to get in a church, you need to get in a church." But here's the thing about, I think where the missing piece for him, what he doesn't understand, is that because of his belief, because how he really cares about God, is that because he's only doing it in his home, he's not really sharing the information that God basically says we all should be doing. He's not serving. And serving, that's a part of serving, meaning that sharing that love for God. And you look, and you can't do it just at your house. You have to have somewhere to go to do that. Does that make sense?
Or you got to have people around you. Mm-hmm. You can. People always say, "Well, I can worship God anywhere."
Yeah.
Oh, so true.
Yeah, you can.
True, so true. Mm-hmm. I can worship God by myself. You can. But what you can't do is serve. Mm-hmm. You can't serve others by yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you really can't serve God by yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you need the others. Yeah. And for your barber, yeah, I mean, it's a process. I mean, if he says, "Well, I don't need to go to church," need to go? Nah, you don't need to go. But that's God's community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's imperfect, but that's still God's community.
Exactly.
So I don't like necessarily going to church all the time either, but I know it's God's community. Yeah. And God says, "I'm coming back for my church," which is a group of people. Mm-hmm. And guess what? That's part of God's community. So that's where you should go. Again, it's kind of hard because people say, "I can serve and worship anywhere." Mm-hmm. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, people feel like when they go out and give money or go out and give to the poor and do all this stuff, they feel like, "Well, I'm serving God." Not always. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're serving yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
you're serving to say, "I'm serving."
Exactly. Now, if you're doing it, you're doing it to say that I'm doing it, you're not serving God.
And so you've seen people, and you and I both, we've served, and you could tell people who are serving, meaning that the people that are just putting in the time are just going through it, passing out flyers and whatever they got to do. "Hey, how you doing? What's going on, Kevin?" But the people who are actually serving, man, they're having deep conversations with people, and that's serving.
And does it excite you? I mean, what
do you have passion behind it?
Yeah, does it make you? Mm-hmm. I mean, when we're in group, a lot of times, my wife will say, "You're too rough." I'm not being rough. It's just, we talk about it, and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
I think that if we are following Christ, that we ought to act like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody has a role in the church. When I say the church, I mean God's people, not a church.
I understand.
But everybody has a role. Everybody has their thing to do. Mm-hmm. Mine is to teach. And one of my things in teaching is to help Christians, Christ followers, be better Christ followers. Mm-hmm. And to always remind us that, kind of like Paul.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm Paul.
No.
But I'm saying same thing. It's like, look, you got a new heart. You shouldn't be acting like this.
Sometimes you got to spank them.
And that's all I'm saying.
Sometimes
Let's
you got to
act
spank
like it.
Exactly.
If you want to call yourself a Christian, I'm okay with that. You can act like it. And we don't do that enough.
Nothing
we just
wrong
don't
with that.
act
There's
like.
nothing wrong with that.
If you want to be in my family, then act like it.
Exactly. And nothing wrong with that.
Right? You come to my house, act like you at my house. You ain't in the street.
There's nothing wrong.
Like they used to say, like my mom used to say, "Boy, you ain't born in the barn, close that door."
Close that door.
Right? Mm-hmm. You don't live in a barn, act like you live in a house.
Well, I mean, when we came up, guess what? When you got out in the streets, you wasn't representing yourself, you were representing your family. My last name is James.
That's right.
Something happens, if I do something wrong, look, and I tell people this all the time, this is the honest truth. My brother Billy will tell you that. I was never afraid of getting in trouble with the law or anything like that. No, I wouldn't worry, because that wasn't gonna happen.
Nope.
Nah, I was worried about what Ed James was gonna do if I got in trouble.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I was more concerned about that, because he had already set the boundaries, because I understood, and thank God that I did. I understood that everything that I did represented him.
Exactly.
And my mom, Irene James.
Exactly.
Everything I did represented my mom and dad. And so there were times, what was interesting about it when you're young, there were times, when you're young, you know, you're young and you're dumb.
Exactly.
But there were times that, and probably God working through me or through them, what have you, there were times that I didn't do things because I did not want to let them down.
So we have to understand, when we do things, we drag God's name, and that's why in the world right now, when you look at Christianity, why do we have so many black eyes? Because, like your barber, y'all ain't no different from me.
Exactly.
Y'all ain't no different from these people. Matter of fact, y'all worse.
Exactly.
Because y'all so judgmental.
That's exact. Oh,
y'all arrogant.
Oh, he used that.
Y'all think y'all better than everybody else. Y'all want to tell everybody what to do.
He used that.
Y'all want to tell everybody what to do, and y'all don't even do what you say, what you want everybody else to do.
And you're going to church 5 days a week.
Y'all always in church and always pointing your finger out here about what we don't do. Y'all ain't doing it either.
Yeah, wow.
So what makes you better than me?
Yeah.